I mean, not gonna lie, where we were a few weeks ago, to be in this position now, it's important, knowing that we still got work to do and we got long ways to go, but continue the same approach, one day at a time, one game at a time, one series at a time. And guys continue to prepare, continue to have fun, continue to compete, and, that's what it's all about. But, yeah, it's a good feeling now.
I know we've asked some version of this multiple times, but when you do take a look back to where you were 3.5 weeks ago, what clicked to such a level that you didn't just start to get the ship righted, but you took off in a way that you're playing, this type of baseball and seemingly on a night in, night out basis?
Yeah, credit to that group right there, good players, good coaches, and they're having fun. But I think when it was hard, and the game is hard, and you're going to go through some stretches where it's not easy for you, just got to stick to your process. How can you get better in different areas? What are we missing? And then obviously you got to go out there and compete. But look, looking back to those days, that was the approach. How can we get better? How can we continue to push these guys? How can we put these guys in a better position to have success? And at the end of the day, like I said, good players going out there and executing. So,
Tim.
What did you like most, or what impressed you most about Alvarez's night tonight?
I mean, there's a lot to like there, from the defensive side, him working with Manaya when it wasn't easy for him and continue to force him to make pitches when needed. And then the offense, staying on the fastball, on Luis Hill fastball, after he blew one by him and then taking him deep to the opposite field, on a high fastball, staying on top, then not giving away at bats, not chasing, laying off some tough pitches in some pitchers' count to get back in counts. So pretty impressive overall.
And on Drew Smith, what do you guys know about how severe of a sprain
Yeah, it's an
that
elbow
is?
sprain.
Yeah.
So doctors are, gathering more information, and, we will know more what's the next step here. But obviously he's got that. Unfortunate. Feel for him. So, yeah.
Do you guys have any sense of whether it's going to be a surgery situation or?
We, like I said, we're still gathering all the information. Doctors got to contribute a quick MRI right before the game, and we'll see what we got in the next couple of days.
Rich.
When you look at your offense, you guys have done two things that you didn't do earlier in the year, and that's score early in games and then unrelentingly adding runs. Can you talk about how that change occurred, and what do you think is the biggest reason for it?
It's contagious, When you got a lot of hitters clicking at the same time, you're going to see games like that where you're going to put pressure early in games and try to get to starters. You're going to get guys on base, and you're getting big hits when needed, We saw it today. And then once you take the lead, continue to put pressure, Don't give away anything, because every pitch, every at-bat matters. So, yeah, again, a lot of good hitters clicking at the same time, producing, having fun. So, yeah.
Abby.
Sort of playing off of that, where does this mindset of just not taking their foot off the gas come from? It seems like the lineup has been pretty relentless over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think it just happened, when you got so many good players and so many good hitters performing. It's pretty impressive, And, again, the mentality is we're not giving anything away. It doesn't matter if we're down or big or if we're up big. Like, every pitch matter, every at-bat, and you just gotta keep going.
How important has Adrian Hauser been to the bullpen over the last, I guess, month? Seems like very quietly he's sort of finding himself again and filling a role that you guys did not previously have.
Yeah, huge. For him to not only go multiple innings, but the way he's throwing the baseball. We saw up to 96 today. So the two-seam, change-up, the breaking ball, staying on the attack, getting big outs for us. It was huge for him to give us the last 3 innings. And every time he's taking the ball, he's giving them multiple innings, and he's showing that he can get righties, lefties, keeping us in games. And that's a good weapon to have in the bullpen.
Will.
Hey, Carlos. With the way things were at the end of May, some managers would, look at the schedule ahead, look at June, and say, like, let's go 500 in that month. Like, let's win a couple of series. What were your goals at the end of May?
Get better every day in different areas. That was the goal. Like, how can we get better? How can we help guys? I wasn't looking at the schedule. I was just taking it one game at a time, one day at a time. How can we help guys continue to get better? What are we missing? And that was the messaging, to the coaches to players, players buying in, them talking among themselves, and continue to challenge each other. And that'll be the approach moving forward. We still got ways to go.
Manny.
A couple weeks ago, when this sort of hot streak started kicking off, Lindor said that after the team meeting, he felt like it allowed everybody to hold each other more accountable. Have you been seeing that more around the team? And are there any examples that you can think of where?
I don't know that there's examples that I can pinpoint, because every day there's a lot of good things happening, and I don't think it wasn't like they weren't doing it, the accountability has been there, because we've been talking about that since day one, when we show up to spring training. But maybe it was one of those, like, are we doing enough, but for them to, get it off their chest, and we got to be better. And that's what I go back to, what I just said, like, how can we get better in different areas? And they've done that, so credit to them. But again, understanding that we got ways to go, and but it's exciting now, and we feel good with where we at right now as a team.